you know who we don't let at our blackjack and craps tables? Dudes like George Pickens.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect
That's
segue.
no effort from George Pickens. He came out and there's a clip out there. You can see it. He basically jumps over the defender who then tackles Jaylen Warren and prevents him from scoring on Saturday's afternoon game between the Colts and the Steelers. George Pickens comes out and says later, I was just trying to prevent the Tank Dell situation. I ain't want to get an injury. Dudes, read between the lines.
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to our guy, Harry, the producer, for these
graphics.
Yes. These are some amazing graphics. Brady, you know this. We always have a saying in the locker room on the field, right? When you play not to get injured, that's usually when you get injured. Now, again, the Tank Dell situation was it happens on a football field. When you're playing hard, you're blocking somebody and the ball carrier kind of goes into your leg. It's tough. But if you're George Pickens, when you start looking for that, first of all, you're not playing full speed. And usually when you're not playing full speed, the percentages of you getting hurt go up, right? So, like, if you're saying, like, I didn't want the Tank Dell situation, so every time it's a run play, what are you just going to run to the sideline and not block at all? You potentially could get your running back hurt by doing something like that. So I just think, to me, like, should choose his words wisely. I understand you being healthy is going to benefit you. It's going to help you, secure all your dreams, pay for your family and everything. But also, when you play not to get hurt is usually when you get hurt. So, like, go out there and play full speed, man. Usually if you're doing everything full speed, got the right knee bend, it doesn't guarantee you're not going to get hurt, but the percentages kind of go up. So, like, I understand where he's coming from, but when you play not to get injured, that's when you usually get injured.
What's interesting about that is, look, it's a real concern for every wide receiver. I see this at the college football level for guys who are, like, going to be a surefire first-round, top 10, top 5 pick. Like, you see that sometimes. And that's at multiple positions, okay? It's a tough predicament to be in as a player because, to Leger's point, you obviously want to be out there giving your best for all your teammates and what else you're doing. There are times when there's guys who, like, are kind of hopping out of the way, making business decisions to protect themselves. Yeah. And I think, for players, they understand it. Fans probably can't. But, in that, the odd thing for me with Pickens is there's times where I see him bully dudes at the line of scrimmage. That's what doesn't make any sense is I'm like, in the red zone of all places, like, go up there and, like, bully that dude. Like, usually he gets pretty aggressive. He tries to, like, smash a guy. So I thought it was out of character. I don't know. Maybe he was worried about the injury portion. It almost looked like down in that portion of the red zone, he kind of ran to, like, run a takeoff, like run a go route, get an outside release, and then was like, all right, but, like, didn't expect was a warrant, I think,
the ball to bounce
to get that 4-down field. Yeah. And so, look, I'll say this: I don't see that a ton from him on film. So it was a little out of sorts of character in that regard, but he's just speaking the truth, and it's a tough reality for some people to hear. And I'll say this as a quarterback: it's like, trust me. Whether it's Mitchell Trubisky or Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett if he comes back, none of those guys want George Pickens to get hurt either. So not saying you want your running back to get hit, but you also don't want that guy out of the game either for the rest of the season.
Did you block like Drew Lock as a quarterback, or did you block like Peyton Manning?
Probably more like Drew Lock. If you like Manning's Manning, like, no one's gonna mess with him at the line of scrimmage. But you're not Manning, dude. Like, you gotta be worried about dudes trying to get up in your grill.
Oh yeah, like, we used to love quarterbacks that wanted to get out in front of block.
Yeah.
Free shot.
Yeah, you gotta.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you're getting out of blocks. You're like backside cut off on a reverse, or if you're out front of something else. But I'm saying, like, if you're standing out there like Wildcat, like, you may have to defend yourself. Someone wants to get a little chippy and try to jam you or something. So.
On the Pickens thing, I thought that watching the play, even in the replay, if I were him, I would have come out and said, I was worried I might get penalized for a block in the back. Because I think it was like the defender was kind of like he would have had to really kind of, I feel like, turn himself a little bit to, and I mean, that, but like the jump over him, I mean, the one concern I have here is that there was some buzz over the last couple of weeks. And, you can go back to when a team's winning, you don't hear this stuff. When a team's losing, you do. Correct. But that there were, I think the quote was that, and this may, like, beat reporters, especially older, it ain't coming from the players, right? But that they're worried that they might have 2 Antonio Browns on the team. It's like, well, if you have 2 Antonio Browns, you've got two Hall of Fame wide receivers. You just have two wide receivers tend to be divas. That's a problem. But if I think they're worried about Deontay Johnson and George Pickens being those diva wide receivers. I don't know what it is about Pittsburgh that sort of brings out these colorful personalities at the skill position. But I guess that would be a concern. But yeah, like you don't see this. Pickens is kind of a dog. Like I don't know, man. I think it's.
I really thought he thought the play maybe was over. At that point, it was kind of odd. But again, only he. Also,
that's why it's so weird that he would cite Tank Dell too, where like Tank Dell was lined up as a blocker on a crash play down low. The whole thing was just bizarre.